Hi, my name is Alexandra, and I'm a nurse practitioner student here at the clinic. And I was going to just talk with you real quick about why you came in today. So, I see that you are an avid runner and that you noticed a spot on your chest recently that you're a little concerned about. So, let's go ahead and take a look at that. Yeah, so I see what you're talking about. So it is smaller, and some good points that we'll talk about in further detail here in just a second is that it's just a nice round shape. It's all one color. It doesn't have any irregularities on the outside of it. So just looking at it right now, I'm not super concerned. But we'll talk about more about that here in just a second. So first, I want to just tell you how great it is that you are running. Definitely a good stress reliever, a great way to stay healthy and just to keep your heart healthy. So I definitely don't want you to be scared of running outside. So I saw that you had said you'd read an article about skin cancer and that you were just concerned. So let's just talk about all of that. And while we do that, I'll address the spot on your neck as well. So with skin cancer, fair skinned people are at greater risk, like yourself. But the fact that you're wearing sunscreen is one of the best things that you can do to prevent skin cancer. I know that you said in the article you read that sunscreen doesn't always prevent cancer, which is true. But more often than not, the reasons that it's not protecting against skin cancer is because we're not wearing it regularly. There is a family history of skin cancer, or there's a personal history of skin cancer already. So wearing sunscreen definitely is not going to hurt, and I definitely think that that's something that you should do. The biggest thing that you can do to avoid skin cancer is to avoid tanning beds. I know that you said you're fair skinned, so I doubt that you're tanning inside anyways. But even in the summer, when people lay out and they say, oh, I want to get a base tan before I go on vacation, all you're doing is that you're putting yourself at greater risk for skin cancer because you're putting yourself at risk of getting burned. So while a tan may be really pretty, in the long run, it's not going to be beneficial to your health. So as a runner, wearing sunscreen is amazing. Definitely the number one thing you could do. Also, I know that you said it was below your collar, so that tells me that you are wearing things that have a higher collar. Just continue to do that. When it's hot, it may not be as easy to wear long sleeves, but when it's manageable, you could wear longer sleeves. You could wear those running shirts that have a collar. But another big thing that you could do is be wearing a hat. If you wear a hat, you're protecting your face, you're generally protecting your ears, and you're protecting, at least the front of your neck. But if your hair is up, also encourage you to wear sunscreen on the back of your neck. That's something that we forget about, especially if we have long hair, because we think, oh, it's covered all the time. But when we put it up into a ponytail, a bun, or a braid, then our neck is going to be exposed. So definitely wearing sunscreen, and then keeping an eye on your skin, which it definitely sounds like what you're doing is another great way to just be aware, because as the patient, you're more than likely going to be the first person to notice any kind of skin changes going on your body. So just, every time you take a shower, just kind of doing a once over, looking at anything, noticing if anything is new popping up, and then if there are moles that you have that you can see, on your front or on your back, on your arms, then just keeping an eye on those and paying attention to if they change. If you start to see moles changing, that's a good time to go into the doctor and just kind of let us take a look at them and kind of look at the criteria that we do with skin cancer, which is the next thing I want to talk to you about. When we're looking at moles or freckles or spots or birthmarks that we're worried may be cancerous, then what we're looking at, we kind of abbreviate with A, B, C, D, E. So with A, we're looking at asymmetrical. Is there parts of the mole that aren't uniform to the rest of the shape? Is it kind of broken apart? Does it have one side that kind of goes off in one direction or kind of off to the side? And then the second thing, B, is for border, which is kind of the same thing. Is it irregular? Is it jagged? Is it asymmetrical? Does it kind of go off in one direction or not the other? C is the color. Is the mole all one color? Is it two different colors? If it's two different colors, then we're going to be a little bit more concerned about it. D is diameter. Is it larger than we'd like it to be? So typically we like the moles to be about the size of a pea. Anything bigger than that, then that's something that we're going to want to keep an eye on or maybe test. And then E, the last one, is evolving. Is the mole changing? So like you said that you noticed this spot recently within the last year. So while it's not abnormal for us to develop spots just kind of across our lifetime, what is abnormal is if that spot starts to change. So while this mole doesn't look worrisome to me now, this will just be a thing that we want to keep our eyes on as the years go by. And if you ever notice that it's changing colors, or if it's getting bigger, or if the shape is changing, then that's definitely something that we would want to maybe biopsy or refer to dermatology for. So with all that information, I know that is a lot. That's typically what, as the practitioner, that's what I'm looking at when I look at this spot. So looking at it right now, I'm not concerned about it. There are always, options, cosmetically, if you don't like it, or if it's something that you want removed, that's something that we can always talk to your insurance about, or something that we could do here in the office, or like I said, we could refer you to dermatology. So just doing what you're doing is the best thing. Wearing sunscreen, making sure that you're just being covered. Even if it's cloudy outside, you could still get a burn, which could also lead to skin cancer. So just making sure you're doing everything that you can to protect yourself and stay healthy is the number one thing.